I think this is one of my favourite makeups that I've ever done. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, we've done another base. We've got the palette again, we're back. So today I decided I'm going to do another tutorial with this palette. You all loved the last one and I feel like it was very colourful. I might do another colourful one, but I just want to explore other colours and opportunities within the palette. Obviously it's not just like one colour, so there's a lot of things I can do. So we are back with another tutorial. I've done my base. My eyes look a little bit like fresh. Obviously I've put a little bit more base on my eyes. I did it the second thing I did of my makeup. So obviously after I've done foundation, they've creased a little bit. I added some more base. That's why it looks a little bit off. But that will be soon fixed when I apply the shadow. So before I get into the video, make sure to go and follow me over my Instagram and subscribe down below, and leave me a like and a comment in the comment section. Let me know what your favourite thing is about the video, what you're excited about, or other shades and colours that you want me to use in the palette. Obviously this is what it looks like. It is the most beautiful palette in the entire world and I absolutely love it. So we are exploring probably some colours and shades that I maybe wouldn't use necessarily together today, but we're going to get straight into it. So without further ado, I'm going to get straight into the video and I hope you enjoy. So I've got my blending brushes. I am thinking to go down like a neutral route, but I don't want it to be completely neutral. Obviously there are a lot of shades in here. We've got probably like 4 or 5 neutral shades. I don't want to do the pinks again because I did that last time. I'm thinking I could do blue, bit of blue, bit of green, or a bit of orange, a bit of yellow. We really don't know. I asked you guys over my Instagram what colours you want me to do, and a lot of you said orange and pink or yellow and green. They were like the top 2 that you came up with. So I'm thinking to go down that, but I also really like this baby blue and I'm feeling like I might do something. I really don't know. We're going to sit here, have a little think. I think I'm going to introduce some neutrals and then go in with a bit of colour though. So I'm kind of like using colour and neutral because of course my last look was very, very colourful and I don't want every single look to be like that. So I'm going to take my all-time favourite blending brush for my first shade, and this is the JS12 from the Morphe and Jeffree Star collection. I'm thinking we're going to go in with 5 AM. So that is the shade just here, and I think we're going to start with that. So here goes. I'm feeling as though obviously I want to take like a neutral route, but I also want to like maintain a little bit of colour. I don't want it to be completely neutral or completely colourful. So maybe we'll do like an inner corner highlight or even like a liner. Or we could do waterline. There's so many things we could do. So I'm just going to start like building up my crease shade. I really, really like this shade. I feel like every palette has neutrals in, but every neutral is a different shade. So I love this one. I feel like I'm going to keep it quite like contained as well, because as you guys know, especially if you follow my Instagram, my looks tend to go here, here and here, and they don't really stay in my eye. So I'm going to try and keep it within my eye shape today and just see what we come up with like that, because I did actually used to do my looks like this, and then I got a little bit more adventurous and I was like, let's take it around my whole face. And although I love that, I do want to keep it quite like natural-ish today and just see what we can come up with. I don't want it to be like completely, like I said, neutral. I want it to be like a bit of everything. So I always start deepening up my crease to start with, just so that I know that is like my first thing done. A lot of the time I pat on the colour, and as you can see I'm trying to do it in circular motions but without blending it too much, because I will then use my next shade to blend it out. So I'm kind of just packing it on with this brush. And this is like my favourite brush to use, as well as the Morphe M312, I think. Yeah, or M321, yeah, that's it. They're my two favourites. Just feel like they work really well for me, and I just really enjoy, like, obviously if I had to pack on a lot of colour, a lot of people use a bigger brush, but for me I like using this one because I know it's very precise. I know it will go all in the area that I want and not anywhere else, and there's no mistake of getting a bigger brush and putting it all over your eyelid. So yeah. And a big part of Everyone Knows My videos, I actually received a lovely message the other day. Somebody did their makeup and said it really helped them that I always say trust the process, because it's not like this is the finished look, you know, like I'm not going to go out like this. You've just got to go with it. And it's like a film. If somebody tells you to watch a film and you can't get into it, but you know it'll get better, you carry on watching it. So do the same with makeup and your life. Like, it's always going to get better. There is always a way out, and there's always another thing you can do, introduce, and like, if you don't like it, you can always take it off. There's always a way. But I will not be doing that today. I really like my outline shape. I don't want it to be too like that. I kind of want to really keep it this size, which might seem a little bit difficult because obviously I've used quite a lot of one colour, but we're gonna go with it. So I'm thinking next I could either go in with Mila, which would seem quite obvious because it's the other neutral in the palette, but I'm feeling like I also want to use a bit of Zoma, or maybe a bit of Redemption. Who knows? I'm not sure. I'm thinking Mila, maybe just a tiny bit, and then we could go in with a bit of Redemption, or maybe even we'll cut my crease and use Redemption. I think that might be quite a good idea. So we're going to take a bit of Mila on the same blending brush and just start blending out the edges. Again, I'm going to use the 50-50 technique because I don't want it to be really, really big. I don't want it to go right next to my brow, which if I put on any more product it would. And I kind of want it to just kind of all blend really seamlessly. I don't want it to be all the way over here. I kind of want to keep it central. And then I will go back in with 5am and make sure to introduce that colour again, because it's so important to reintroduce your first shade. Otherwise it literally gets lost, and I know that sounds really stupid, like you've put on the next shade, you've blended it out, but you can see now it's not fully blended. If I left it like this, it would not look like I'd even bothered to blend it, because it just almost doesn't look blended. So as soon as you go back in with the first shade, it almost looks like you've really spent ages, and it really doesn't take very long to do so. So I'm going to do the same on the other eye. And just taking it in circular motions. I don't want to press really hard on the brush. I just want to be really, really gentle, almost like I'm tickling my skin, and then just making sure not to take it too far up again, because it could end up quite far up my eye, which today I'm not going for that, and it might even look like it has, but if it does that, that's absolutely fine. I can just take a new blending brush that hasn't got any product on and just blend that out. So never to worry. I feel like this is going to be such a nice soft neutral look.
Flashback.
But I don't want it to be completely neutral.
End of flashback.
And I really don't feel like I've done one of these in ages. I did a cut crease look on my Instagram the other day, and that has been posted, so make sure to go and check that out and show some love. But I feel like that was the first kind of like more rounded neutral look. that I've done in the longest time, because a lot of them have been neutral colours but maybe in a more creative way, which I obviously absolutely love. But it's quite nice to just go back to basics almost and just really make it a really neutral look. See, I know what I've done here in this corner. It's gone too far over than what I'd like, so I'm just going to take a completely fresh blending brush and just blend that out so that it doesn't look as harsh. And I can always go back in. So I'm going back in with 5 AM and just introducing it where I did before. As you can see, I'm deepening up a lot more now, but when you see the next shade, which I'm obviously going to blend back, it looks so much better. I will be using a separate brush to blend out Mila again, because obviously I've applied quite a lot of 5 AM at this point. I don't want Mila to then kind of be influenced. It's fine when I'm going on the first blend, but I don't want to then use it straight after I've gone in for the second time with this shade. So I'm now going to take a little bit of Mila again and reintroducing the shade and just blending out really softly onto my edges. I do not want it to be really blocky. I want it to be quite seamless. I don't want it to kind of be a massive circle which you can still kind of see the circle. I just kind of want it to look like a really fresh soft blend, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I'm sure a lot of you will know what I mean. It's always really important to tap your brush as well. I find if I don't, I kind of get a lot of excess product that kind of just maybe sticks in one place, and I don't really want it to do that. I want it to kind of blend rather than stick in a certain area. I'm really making sure to blend this out, as it is starting to go a little bit further up than maybe I'd want. So that's absolutely fine, and you can just blend away. See, look how soft that looks now. It really looks so seamless. I really don't want it to look, you know how like this, obviously I don't want it to be like that. I want it to look completely so soft. I don't want you to see this base. Obviously here it still is a little bit, but it's so blown out and blended that you can't almost tell I've got eyeshadow over here. It just looks like maybe my base is darker, and it's just really blended in, and I'm really happy with how this is blending. I love Beauty Bay palettes. They're my favourite brand of palettes. Those and P. Louise. I don't think I'll ever prefer any others. Although I do like Morphe and Be Perfect. I feel like I have more shades and stuff like that with the Beauty Bay and P. Louise. I also really like Be Perfect Cosmetics for palettes. Their palettes are insane, and the Morphe ones I absolutely love, but they're probably my top 4. I feel like they just blend so well. It just looks so seamless. It looks like I've spent the longest time blending, and I've spent however long it's been on here, which to me is 13 minutes, but it probably won't seem that long, and I'm really happy with that. I'm just gonna blend out again. I feel like maybe I didn't. And it's so easy to kind of blend the second time round, because you really are blending the first shade rather than just stacking a shade on top. It's really blending it out, because you've obviously reintroduced it. You don't want the deeper shade to get lost. but you just really want to make sure it's so softly blended. And it's so important, circular motions. Just do it really lightly. Like, I literally feel like the brush is just tickling my skin. I don't feel like it's really on my skin. I feel like it's just the tip. And if you feel like you're going too far, you can always just grab your blending brush and diffuse the edges. You don't want to be unhappy with your look. You want to really love it. So here, this way, you know how I normally do those looks where I take it right out and it's kind of like a wing. That was the last look I did with this palette. And obviously it does blend up into my bronzer, but it does look like a wing. Whereas here, I feel like I've just really lightly done that. And it just looks like somebody's got almost like a hairdryer and just blown it out. But without you being able to notice that I've created a shape up here. Whereas I'd normally kind of make it look like a blown out wing look, but more of a messy effect rather than like a sharp wing. But I've obviously just been able to blend it and it just looks really smooth and gentle. I'm really happy with the blends. I'm feeling like actually it's quite nice matte, and maybe I'll put a shimmer through the middle rather than cut my crease. That is where I'm heading, as there are so many pretty shimmers in this palette. I feel like it'd be silly not to include, especially as my last tutorial. Obviously I used the shimmer to give like a proper in-depth review. I don't want it to just be like, I don't know, using just the shadows and then going to use a different like glitter brand. I feel like it just makes complete sense to do that. So I feel like that is the blending done. See, here it looks a little bit more curved, I feel like, than this side. But I'm really happy with how it's worked out. I absolutely love these neutrals. I find that in a lot of palettes you have neutrals, but these just really like grab my attention. I feel like, especially 5 AM, it's almost like a truffle chocolate rather than, I can't even describe it. I know this sounds so stupid, but I haven't seen this shade in any other palette. I've seen a shade similar to Mila because it's quite caramelly, but I really love 5 AM, and I feel like they've really done a really good job at matching them, especially as you can see the depth in my crease, but it's not like, oh, you haven't blended that out, do you know what I mean? Like, it really does look really soft. So I think I'm going to use a shimmer. As I did last time, I'm going to use a little bit of my pressed pigment glue, but not a lot, so I don't really feel like you need this. So like, I don't feel like it's going to make the biggest difference. I just like to know that I have a base there, especially if you want it to stay all day. I feel like it's really quite key. But you could just press the shimmer straight on top. I just feel like this kind of brings it out a little bit more. Obviously it doesn't make it any brighter, it just makes it stick, I think, a bit better. So the question is, which are we going to go for? I feel like Underground, which is this shade here. I'm going to just try and let it focus. Focus. This is Underground, this is All In. And this is something I don't remember. Mr. Tutorials, I thought so. So Mr. Tutorials is almost like a goldy, almost got a tint of like khaki in it. All In, I'd say, it kind of looks like the moon, like if you were standing on the moon. Like purple, green, gold reflex. Underground, however, I feel like it's more of a grey silvery. I'm gonna swatch them all. So we've got Underground, All In, and Mr. Tutorials. Now, I think Mr. Tutorials is more khaki, and I don't know if I want to go for that vibe. I feel like it does look, in my opinion, more like a typical gold shimmer. I don't feel like it's as different as anything I've seen. So we've got Mr. Tutorials, All In. I'm trying to remember at the same time. Oh no, what was that? That one was Underground, and then the one in the middle is all in. So I feel like I'm not really sure. Obviously I feel like Underground is a lot more grey. The gold to me, like, I love this palette so much, but the gold to me is just kind of like a gold that I've used in many other palettes before. Apart from the fact it's got a lot of reflex sparkles, which I absolutely love, and you might not be able to, you probably can see a little bit closer. Honestly, in real life there are a lot of, like, it almost looks like somebody's poured a glitter within it, which I love, but other than that I feel like the base of the colour is kind of just like a gold. I'm feeling maybe all in, but I don't know, because I feel like it's a little bit maybe colourful. I think we were going to go with that though, so I'm going to apply it with my finger as I did before, because I feel like that gives the best performance. And it's almost like a real iridescent purpley kind of shimmer, but it does have the depth of like a gold, so that's why I kind of feel like it's quite suitable, but it just gives you a little bit extra. I am going to blend the edges, guys, don't worry, hold back. So that is first off. I'm going to use the brush I used to diffuse the edges, just because I feel like it kind of has a little bit of Mila on it, and it is again just diffusing the edges. It's not got like a lot of colour already on the brush. I feel like it's used to it. It's used to its job, so I'm going to let it carry on doing what it was doing. I really like this. I'm glad I picked the shade. I'm going to go back in with my brush and just make sure there's not any fallout, and I absolutely love that. I didn't have any fallout last time apart from the chunkier glitter, but that was probably my fault for applying too much pressure. I really like. I'm going to come off, apply some lashes and mascara, and then I'll let you know my final thoughts when I'm back. So we are back. I feel like I need to go somewhere. I feel like I want to go out. Literally, I'm obsessed. I think this is one of my favourite makeups that I've ever done, because I feel like it's so natural. It's such kind of like a Saturday night glam. I feel like it's quite smoky as well, because obviously I've completely blended out the edges. It almost sometimes looks like it's just the 5 AM shade. I love the glitter so much. I did actually just have a look at my hand while I was doing it, and you might not be able to see, but the grey almost has like a reflex of rose gold. I was looking at the shade I've used and it's almost more like a champagne gold, and then this is more like a bronze gold, so I feel like maybe that is behind it. I mean, I think the grey is supposed to be a grey, but it does have a lot of reflex of rose gold. Unfortunately you can't really see because I haven't applied too much. I might try and do another swatch for you. I really don't know if you can see. It does look basically just silver, but I caught the light in my hand and it just really has like a pinky, I really don't think you'll be able to see, but I really like pinky rose gold reflex. I love this look so much. I am so happy with it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I've popped on some Sarah Sultan Cosmetics or S Sultan Cosmetics lashes. They look like this and they are in the style Maisie, and I put on my Maybelline Falsies mascara because it's my favourite ever. I've used this since I was literally like, I think this is one of my favourite, one of my first mascaras that I ever used, and I feel like they last such a long time as well. That's probably like my 10th in my whole life, but yeah. Hope you enjoyed. I love this look so much. So make sure to go and give it a like and subscribe down below. Make sure to check out my other videos, especially my other tutorial of this palette. If you want me to do any other looks, I'm feeling like a greeny blue, so I feel like that's going to be next. Maybe I'll make a little series of it. But yeah, let me know. Hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. I'm not sure what day it is going to be when you're watching this, but I love you all so much, and thank you so much for the support recently, especially with my Instagram and on here, to be fair. I'm just overwhelmed and so grateful. So I'll see you all soon for a brand new video. Bye!